Thank you, Dan. Good evening once again. This is not quite a match between two deadly rivals. Of course, Birmingham City would look to Aston Villa, and it's the Black Country rivals Wolves which provide the main rivalry for West Bromwich Albion. But already at this stage of the season, with autumn just beginning to bite in this part of the West Midlands, this feels like a very significant game. Birmingham City, 6 matches without a win so far this season. They played well at times, but a lack of punch in front of goal has really cost them. West Bromwich Albion have really hit the heights, notably with that 7-1 victory at home to Queen's Park Rangers, but they've also been beaten on 2 occasions as well. It's a side packed with attacking talent, but of course they know they will need the consistency to really grind out at times in the Championship over the season as a whole. Here are the two sides once again. Birmingham unchanged from the 0-0 draw at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Only 1 shot on target in that game. It's camping goal. Collan, Morrison, Dean and Pedersen. Hotter and Maghoma are the wide players. Kiftenbelt and Gardner in the middle, with Adams alongside Jutkiewicz up front, although Adams will be the more mobile player and Jutkiewicz has the ability to be the battering ram if required. 1 change for West Bromwich Albion. It's Kieran Gibbs who drops out. Connor Townsend, the fullback signed from Scunthorpe in the close season, he is the player who comes in. Johnston in goal, Dawson, Bartley, Hegazi and Townsend, Livermore and Brunt anchoring the midfield. Phillips, Barnes, Gale and Rodriguez look to give this side a real air of potency. On the bench for Birmingham, it is Connell Truman, Mark Roberts, Conor Mahoney, Omar Bogle, Viv Solomon Otterbor, Charlie Lakin and Wes Harding. That basically is the whole of the Birmingham squad here tonight. There are not too many options beyond that due to injuries and a lack of depth. For West Brom, it is Buzz Myhill, Kieran Gibbs, Hal Robson-Kanu, Ollie Burke, Gareth Barry, Kyle Edwards and Tosin Adebayo. And you look at the West Brom bench, Mick McCarthy, and that just tells you how strong this West Brom squad is.
Oh, well, it is, isn't it? We've just been we're talking about the team. And then, of course, people used to say to me, you know, you always look at your bench to see how strong you are, and there's some occasions as a manager, I had it at times, you're looking over the shoulder, and I keep looking over my shoulder, and I remember Taffy and Evans saying to me, don't even think about it, you've got the best 11 on the pitch. If you can change it, that is so much better. And with Gibbs, Robson, Kanu, Gareth Barry and this Adebayo from Manchester City, who we talked about taking on loan from Man City, they've got strength in depth.
Terrific atmosphere inside St Andrews, around 2,500 West Bromwich Albion fans away to our right hand side in the railway end. There are 1 or 2 empty blue seats around the stadium, but a good crowd as well. We've had torrential rain before kick-off and bright sunshine as well as darkness begins to descend in this part of the second city. And it's West Bromwich Albion in their retro away kit of yellow and green stripes, the sort of kit which Cyril Regis and John Weil used to wear on the road in generations past. They get the game underway, and domestic football is back underway on the home of the EFL, Talk Sport 2, with a really big West Midlands derby. West Bromwich Albion playing from right to left in the first half towards the Tilton Road end. Birmingham City in their blue shirts and white shorts, and it's West Brom looking to attack with Gale, and it's a good ball forward into the path of Barnes, and now the early ball driven into the penalty area from wide on the far side, and it's blocked. It was Phillips with the delivery, and West Brom have a throw-in already, and Birmingham have barely had a kick so far in the opening 40 seconds or so. Now it's lofted into the penalty area towards Hegazi, and Phillips will gather by the corner flag on the far side. Pedersen will try and make the challenge. Phillips' ball in field is eventually cut out by Kiftenbelt, and Maghoma will run it clear for Birmingham, but he's given the ball away to Brunt, and now Barnes with a cute ball into the penalty area, and Gale was looking sharp there before his route to goal was cut off by Morrison, and Birmingham will clear up towards the halfway line. Adams does well to hold the ball up, spreads it wide towards this near side, the right, and Hotter, and the Spaniard will come in field towards the edge of the penalty area on his left foot, low shot driven in, and it's gathered comfortably by Sam Johnston.
I think, Nigel, we've seen probably a little snapshot of what's going to be the game. West Bromwich Albion started well, kept the ball well. The movement between Harvey Barnes and Dwight Gale was really good into Gale, kept it, they progressed up to their 18-yard box. Birmingham having to be nice and solid and tight, and then win it back and caught them on the break with Yotta. First shot on target, but didn't cause any damage and any difficulty for the keeper.
And the referee is Andy Madley, who actually sent off Birmingham's Craig Gardner in their defeat at Middlesbrough last month. And it's his brother Gary who has been at the heart of the Birmingham midfield ever since, on loan from Aston Villa. Albion have a free kick, which is played back towards the Egyptian Hegazi. Options left and right as the defenders split on either side. Eventually it was played wide towards Carl Bartley. He has to go back towards Sam Johnston, who of course was on loan at Aston Villa last season from Manchester United, and I'm sure without their financial problems at the start of the summer, Villa would have been keen to make that move permanent, but West Bromwich Albion stepped in, and he looks to be a very good signing at this level. As Hegazi, the Egyptian, plays it wide towards this near side, and he was looking for the run of Townsend, but ducking was Collan, and it will be a throw-in to Birmingham City. Birmingham currently 20th in the table, level on points with the bottom three. West Brom are 9th, but they will go third with a win, of course, before some very important games in the Championship tomorrow. And the top four all away from home. Collan with a long throw down the line for Birmingham on this near side. The chase is made by Adams. Jutkiewicz will try and help him out, but West Brom will clear. Brunt up towards the halfway line. Rodriguez will challenge, and eventually the ball is cleared long and high downfield by Harley Dean, and it's gathered by Johnston once again. 3 minutes played, and it's 0-0 on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, and West Brom, they've got the three centre-backs. They're keeping the ball at the back. But Che Adams and Lucas Jutkiewicz are just letting them have the ball. They're not hurting them. What they're trying to do is stop the ball into the middle of the pitch, into the midfield players, which actually have just passed it in now. They're quite happy to let the three defenders have it. It's the midfield players who are going to cause the problems if they can get it.
Morrison steps in before Gale again on the far side and just jabs it out of play, and it will be a throw-in for West Brom in those yellow and green striped shirts. Matt Phillips will take it up towards Barnes, on loan from Leicester, on the right corner of the Birmingham penalty area. He's challenged though. Jutkiewicz will bring it clear, and it's clipped over the top, and Hotter will chase, and there is so much room on this near side, so much so that Sam Johnston comes 40 yards out from goal and clears the ball away himself in the fullback area on this near side for a throw into Birmingham.
Modern day goalkeeping. Actually, they've got to be sweepers. The back three have squeezed all up to the halfway line. They looked a threat on the break. Actually, Birmingham. That ball was just too long. Sam Johnson come out and tied it up.
Collan clears it forward for Birmingham on this near side. Jutkiewicz allows the ball to bounce, steps in before Bartley and plays it back towards Kieftenbeld, who lofts it over the top looking for Hotter, and again it's overhit, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion, making their first visit to St Andrews since 2015. Of course, they were in the Premier League and Birmingham were in the Championship. That match was in the FA Cup, and Albion won that day by 2-1. And they last played here in the Premier League, or in a league game, back in 2010 when they won by 3-1. And James Morrison, who is still at West Bromwich Albion, was among the goal scorers. Of course, there was a time not too long ago when Birmingham, West Brom and Wolves were all in the Premier League at the same time, and that must have been terrific fun.
I'm just sorry, Nigel. I'm looking at the team. I'm just thinking that the three centre backs here have got it. I'm just watching. Sorry, I'm concentrating on the game there, and the two centre forwards, Jutkiewicz and Che Adams, are letting the three defenders have it. And I'm not sure they're that good, the three defenders. It's not. Wolves played that way last year. One of them would drive out and find a pass. That might change. It's early on in the game, I get that. But I haven't seen the passing ability of those three yet that's going to find the balls into the middle of the pitch. So it might change as the game opens up.
Well, Wolves last season had Connor Cody, who could hit those long diagonals and turn defence into attack straight away.
Bolly he dribbled out, found a pass, and they were terrific. And the two midfield players, of course, Nevers was just awesome. Interesting just watching. It's a similar sort of, dare I say, the copy in Wolves. That'd be interesting. Any West Brom fans who are listening.
I thought Forest were copying Wolves this season.
They're all trying to copy Wolves because they were brilliant, wouldn't we all like to?
6.5 minutes played, 0-0 at St Andrews on TalkSport 2. Townsend flicks it on down this near side above Collan. Out of play, and it will be a throw-in. Well, I'll ask you that question again. What was it like with 3 big teams in the Premier League, and every single week you must have been asked about another local derby coming up?
Well, it's great. It's always exciting when you've got those teams in the league. It was the same if you ever get it up in the North East with Newcastle, Sunderland and Middlesbrough. It's much better when all the teams are there, and it was the same with us in the Midlands. It made for a more exciting time, definitely.
Throwing for West Brom on the far side. They've scored 15 goals so far this season.
And better still if you're the top team amongst them, but it didn't happen to us too often, unfortunately.
Here is Hegazi, wide towards the far side again. And now Livermore has time to turn just inside the Birmingham half, but it's ball wide towards this near side. The right is cut out and Collan can bring it forward. Now Hotter driving infield from the right hand side for Birmingham. Livermore just ensures he can't go any further. The referee happy there was no foul there, and now West Brom will try and build themselves. Barnes stronger in the challenge than Dean, but it's won back by Maghomer.
Great pressing by Birmingham. They've won the ball back, West Brom, in their half near that 18-yard box. They've tried, and they couldn't get out because first Jota pressed, then Kiftembel pressed, then Morrison's pressed. They've all gone and pressed. They nearly got past them, but they've nicked it in the end, and now they've got the ball up in the final third. Great pressing.
And it's a throw-in, which Christian Pedersen, the Dane, will take on the far side. And he does have the capability of hurling one high into the penalty area. Goes short to Maghomer, and it's a good touch from him back towards Pedersen, and a smothering challenge comes in from Phillips, and he just guides the ball behind for a corner.
Great tackle. I wondered actually, I'm thinking throw it in the box, you've got a chance, but I'm looking at the 3 big centre backs of Bartley, Hegazi and Dawson, and they're probably quite happy to have it thrown in there. They did something different, almost got the cross in, but they've won a corner. Well done.
Maghomer will take it on the far side. And we did see Birmingham cause a number of problems here against Swansea in the air in that league game which they drew 0-0 a couple of weeks into the season. It's played short towards Hotter, and now his high ball into the penalty area towards that far post. Excellent delivery, real whip and bend on it, and Hegazi has to stoop and just guide a header away down this near side.
Really good corner, bit of thought went into it. So if you just put the first ball in, everybody's set. If you take it short and move them, then you get a bit more movement. And actually, I thought it was a terrific ball, and Birmingham could have attacked it better. They should be trying to get across the face of the defender.
9 minutes played, 0-0 on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Birmingham looking for their first victory of the season. West Bromwich Albion maybe just looking for consistency after 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats so far. Maghomer on the left-hand side of the Albion penalty area, comes infield, right-footed shot there was deflected, loops high into the sky, and Hegazi is able to head the ball away again. Townsend, neat and tidy, wide to this near side. Rodriguez is able to spin away from Morrison on the halfway line, but Collan was quick enough to get back and provide the reinforcements defensively, and it's out of play for a throw-in, and Darren Moore himself recovers the ball just outside his technical area. West Bromwich Albion keen to maintain the tempo here. Of course, both these managers were teammates at Torquay United, both central defenders as well. Gary Monk, of course, has played in all 4 divisions and did it with the same club, Swansea City, the club he went on to manage, but at the moment he is trying to guide Birmingham City through some difficult waters on and off the field. But Jokovic has won it back well from Bartley on this near side. And Hotter was having his shirt pulled by Townsend, maybe a bit naive there from the player who's been brought in tonight. It's a free kick for Birmingham. Hotter takes it quickly, finds Collan, but his low ball towards the edge of the area was behind Adams, and it's cut out again by Hegazi. And now Rodriguez is cleaned out by Gardner on the halfway line on this near side, and it's a free kick to West Bromwich Albion.
And so it should be, by the way. We've got 13 minutes gone, and that's the first tackle in the game of any. I think it wasn't a bad one, but it's the local derby. You know, put your stamp down, surely. Tell you who's having a tough time here with the ball is Kyle Bartley down this left-hand side. They're almost leaving him with it, then closing him down. He's finding it really tough. He wants to go back on his right foot, and it's a problem for him. He's here now with the ball. He's not comfortable in that position. He's used to being playing in a 2, having it on his right foot, probably defending and not having as much ball.
It's a similar sort of problem which Harry Maguire has had for England over the last few games, where he is a right-footed central defender playing on the left of a three, and he's found a way to deal with it, but
he's handled it better than most, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's difficult. It's not easy, and people say, oh, you should be able to play there. No, you get the ball, people are cute, they leave you with it, and then you haven't got to pass on, and then suddenly they start chasing you. Put pressure on, it's a problem.
Now Phillips with a dash down the right-hand side. Skated beyond 3 Birmingham challenges before Pedersen eventually goes to ground and hooks it out to play by the corner flag, and it will be a throw-in to West Brom down their right, and the pace of Phillips could be a real outlet for them.
Good tackle by Pedersen. I've been impressed by him, actually.
Now Barnes from the throw-in inside the penalty area, controls on the chest, back towards Phillips again. Can he dig out the cross? He's got McHomer for company. Barnes now slides it infield towards Bartley, and it's a low ball into the penalty area, high to the far post, and it was Hotter who was there doing his defensive duties ahead of Townsend to clear, and Brom will allow the ball to drift out of play, and it will be a throw-in for West Bromwich Albion.
Great defending by Hotter. There was great play over the other side actually by Barnes and Phillips. A lovely cross, but Hotter he's the front man. He's one of the front 4. He's back at the far post defending against Connor Townsend. He wins the header. Brilliant defending.
Phillips with an early cross into the area, controlled on the chest by Harley Dean at the near post. Half-hearted appeals for handball, mainly from the West Bromwich Albion fans 150 yards away.
Yeah, very optimistic.
And here's an early ball forward again. West Brom are keen to try and turn Birmingham, but they are standing firm in the opening 13 minutes. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. A double header on TalkSport 2 tomorrow in Matchday Live 2. Newcastle Arsenal from the Premier League at 3. Blackburn Villa from the Championship at 5:30. McHomer challenged well by Livermore, but the ball squirts out to Gardner, and now Pedersen down the left hand side. Had time to think about the cross, goes down the line for Hotter. Hotter now on the byline, comes infield, whips in the cross, met by Higazi and challenged at the near post, but Pedersen will win the second ball back. Can he drive a cross in? No, he can't, but the ball takes a double ricochet eventually off Pedersen, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Birmingham are doing really well and winning the ball back off. I think it's some poor passes from the 3 defenders actually, Kyle Bartley, Higazi, Dawson. But when they get there, they seem reluctant to cross it, because those 3 big lads, Bartley, Higazi and Dawson, are stood in the middle of the pitch, and any cross that's coming so far, they've gone and met it. So they're having to be a little bit more thoughtful and creative and trying to create something else, and yet they're set up at 4-4-2 to put crosses in. Two big strikers, well, yeah, 2 decent sized strikers who are good in the air.
Craig Dawson was reintroduced to the West Bromwich Albion side as a sub at Middlesbrough following his transfer request during the summer, and it's fair to say that the reaction of the Albion fans at the Riverside that night was mixed, but he has come in, started the game against Stoke and retained his place. But as you were saying to us off air before, if you win, people tend to forgive you most things.
They'll forgive him. Look, players want to come and go, and they want to leave, they get a chance to live, they want to stay in the Premier League, all of those things. And, fans then turn against them. But if they come back to the club and they start playing, they play well, they soon get forgiven if they're top of the league, don't worry.
Livermore, another player who has stayed with West Bromwich Albion. Of course, he was on standby for the England World Cup squad earlier this summer. Now Brunt spins in field, finds Livermore once again. Had support ahead of him from Rodriguez, but goes longer towards Barnes in the number 10 position. But his ball wide to this near side is cut out by Collan, who with some twinkle toes evades Townsend first time around, but Townsend was quick enough to get back and make the challenge, and it's a throw in again for Birmingham midway inside the Albion half. Adams will try and turn with Higazi at his back, instead goes back towards Kieftenbeld. Pedersen jabs it forward to find McHomer. Kieftenbeld was caught late there by Rodriguez, but McHomer carries on himself. He was eventually caught by Townsend, and it's a free kick to Birmingham City, around 25 yards out, right of centre.
You see how they're playing Magoma, and you ought to go and play in behind the 2 strikers really, and you're relying on width from the 2 full-backs, and they pick loads of ball up. So we're looking at the 2 teams before, thinking they might get outplayed and overrun in there with Barnes, Livermore and Brunt, but actually Yotta and Magoma come, it's almost 4 for them in the middle of the pitch, so it's quite the other way. They overrun West Bromwich Albion at times by winning the ball back.
Gary Monk is just having a few words on this near side with Lukas Jutkiewicz.
Said head it in the net.
Yes,
that's what he said.
It's a fairly simple game plan. Well, 1 goal for Jutkiewicz so far this season at Forest, when Birmingham were leading 2-0 late in that game before collapsing, and
I don't have his record in front of me, I might be wrong, but he's 10, 15 goals,
season.
you know, he's a 10 goal a season, man, but he causes problems, but you need people around him to feed off him.
Only Ollie Watkins has had more touches inside the opposition penalty area than Jutkiewicz so far this season. Hotter's delivery high to the far post, and it's headed behind, and it was good defending as well at the far post to guide the header behind for a corner.
Wonderful delivery, and it's interesting, the Birmingham attackers started deep and set off running, and they had to back off West Brom. It was a good defending header in the end. It was a great delivery. I have to say, I do think Yotta's excellent, but he needs to add goals to his game. He's got to get more goals. For the player that he is, he's got to score more. 5
goals for him last season.
Get double that. Got to get 10.
Well, he's worked the corner short, and will try and play the ball in left-footed high into the penalty area, and it's flicked away by a West Brom forehand at the near post, and it's a throw into Birmingham on this near side, level with the edge of the West Brom penalty area, and the home side enjoying a good spell here, but it's goalless at St Andrews, as it has been on too many occasions for the home side's liking so far this season. Collan down the right hand side, and it's terrific play to Bob and Weave beyond Townsend, cuts it back into the 6-yard area, volley clear at the near post by Hagazi. Rodriguez will now try and orchestrate the breakaway back towards Townsend, who sweeps it forward but doesn't pick out Gale. Now Pedersen with the early ball forward, nodded down by Jutkiewicz. Hotter on the edge of the penalty area, needed to be stronger in the challenge as Hagazi homed into view, and it's the Egyptian who comes away with the ball.
Well, the 3 centre-backs, Bartley, Hagazi and Dawson, have been excellent at defending. Not convinced with the ball, but you know what, if they're in my team, keep the ball out your net. They've been very, very good so far. Won all the headers and mopped things up.
Now Phillips with a low ball into the penalty area, flicked on by Gale at the near post, and it ripples the wrong side of the netting from his point of view. He got the run on Morrison there, got there first, but couldn't divert the ball inside the near post.
From nothing, from absolutely nothing, the ball goes wide, Phillips rolls the ball in, and there's Dwight Gale, Johnny on the spot, just nicking across, getting in front of the defenders and the goalkeeper. I actually thought he'd scored. I think he just got too much on it, and it hit the side netting at the near post.
Well, Gale scored a hat-trick the last time he played Birmingham in the league, when he was at Newcastle a couple of years ago, and he was an excellent striker in their return to the Premier League. 23 goals in all competitions. Now Barnes coming forward, just held up by Harley Dean, and he forces Barnes to look for reinforcements, and it was Phillips wide on the far side. Dawson now with the early ball forward, right-footed beyond both Brunt and Gale, and it's gathered by Lee Camp on the edge of his 6-yard area.
Good defending by Harley Dean, because it was a wonderful ball actually into Dwight Gale that nicked it around the corner for Harvey Barnes, and he was off, and Harley Dean's caught him, put pressure on him and won the ball off him. Really good defending.
Cleared long downfield by the veteran Lee Camp, chested off by Barnes, back towards Livermore, tries to change the point of the attack, and it was a difficult ball wide to the far side, which was eventually controlled by Phillips under pressure from Maghoma, and now Gale is penalised for a challenge on Kieftenbeld, and it will be a free kick for Birmingham City. 4 draws and 2 defeats for them so far this season, and it's their worst start to a campaign in terms of failure to win games for 40 years, when they were relegated from the old First Division in 78-79. On that occasion they failed to win any of their first 13 games, and then sold Trevor Francis to Nottingham Forest for £1 million. Hotter with the cross into the penalty area, and it's beyond everybody, and it's cleared away down this near side by Townsend.
I was just thinking that'll solve your problems, won't it, selling Trevor Francis?
Absolutely. That was the season they had Alberto Tarantini as well, Argentinian World Cup winner, who didn't really adapt, as Jutkiewicz goes for goal, had options left and right, took a real swing as it left-footed, and it's high over the top.
Well, Maghoma stood there with his hands up, appealing to him, why didn't you give me the ball? And quite right, because if he gives him the ball, he can go and get in the box then. Give it him, lend it to him, he might give it back to you, cross it, you score a goal. I'm afraid Lukas Jutkiewicz from 25-30 yards with his left foot. I don't know how many of those he's scored, probably none. the frustration creeps in. You don't get your goals, and you're taking a shot on that is really unrealistic.
Birmingham 0, West Brom 0, 21 minutes played on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix. For the latest offers, visit your local store or screwfix.com. Here when you need us. Brunt does well to win the ball midway inside the Birmingham half, but it's all rather frenetic on the ball at the moment. Pedersen hooks the ball clear, only finds Brunt, who uses his arm to control it, much to the frustration of Darren Moore inside the technical area, and it will be a free kick for Birmingham City.
Can I just say, Nigel, I'm looking at the two teams and I'm thinking Birmingham look like the team that are really having this tonight. They need the result. They're having a go. I'm not saying West Bromwich aren't. They look like we think we're the better team here. We're the better football team and we can win this game. Birmingham look like the team who are thinking we need to win this game, and they're having a right go at it at the minute. And but Birmingham got to score. We had this 2 or 3 weeks ago. Playing well, creating chances, don't score. We've got to get a goal because West Bromwich have got the quality.
Now Gardner finds Adams on the edge of the penalty area. Hotter tries to thread the eye of the needle and pick out Jutkiewicz, but it's cut out by Livermore, and now Barnes manages to ride the challenge of Kiftembel, but not Morrison, and it will be a free kick to West Bromwich Albion on the halfway line, and Andy Madley will just have a quick word because Morrison went to ground and got nowhere near the ball.
3 fouls there, and it was the last one that he blew for. I think he was trying to let the break go, the referee, Mr. Madley, but it didn't happen.
And Carl Bartley just having a few words with Graham Jones, who we heard from with Jason Bourne before kick-off. And the last time I saw Graham Jones before tonight, he was alongside Roberto Martinez in Kaliningrad, and England were playing Belgium in the World Cup.
You've just dropped a few names.
Sorry, no, I was at the game. I wasn't. We were actually in the same hotel as well. But I wasn't
really?
That, yeah.
Suppose you had a drink with them in the bar.
No, we didn't. It was made very clear that the press weren't welcome. When the Belgian team arrived and saw the British press were there, they weren't very happy. But double booked, you see. Fail to prepare to fail.
Well, I think he's glad to be back in the game, back in England. I think, Graham, to be honest with you. And he's more games, of course, international football. What is it, 12 games a season?
Yeah, well, as you would know, I mean...
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it, I have to be honest.
24 minutes played, 0-0. And it's a throw-in for West Bromwich Albion on this near side, which Townsend will take. And neither goalkeeper has had to make a save so far. Birmingham have looked the better side, but West Brom have had the better chances. Now Phillips, found by Livermore, cuts infield, left-footed shot from him, whizzes just wide with the near post from 25 yards.
Well, I said I quite like Pedersen, and they've got him wide right there at Phillips, and he's out of his own because Pedersen's having to tuck in and help deal with Gale and Rodriguez and Harvey Barnes. They've got the ball to Phillips. It's a great diagonal pass out to him, but he's coming on his left foot, and I'm thinking, well, that's not so bad. He struck a great shot, and sadly for him, he just missed at the near post.
Phillips already has 3 goals this season. Sorry,
he's a threat, outside, inside, if he can hit the ball like that with his left foot.
Well, he's found now by Brunt, just inside the West Bromwich Albion half, on the far side, their right. It's a dry evening now after all the rain earlier on, as Agazi has time to find Livermore, who's come very deep to take the ball off one of the 3 central defenders, and then lofts it out to play straight away on the far side.
Gary Monk, for me, he's quite clearly done his analysis on the team. He's looking at the 3 centre-backs, and he said, leave them with the ball. Just let them have the ball. Don't go chasing them. If the passes are slow or anything, then you can go and press them by all means, but don't let them play it through to the midfield. They're not going to hurt you with the ball, and so far that's what's happening.
Well, the last time we had West Bromwich Albion on TalkSport 2 was when they lost at Middlesbrough with a back 4, as Colin comes forward now, wide to the right hand side for Birmingham, and Hotter turns around back onto his left foot, swung high into the penalty area by Gary Gardner. Jutkiewicz challenging, Hotter is there, jabs it in and scores, and Birmingham City have the goal they're possession deserves, and Hotter finally delivers. Birmingham 1, West Bromwich Albion 0.
It's a great bit of play down this right-hand side with Colin and Yotta. They give the ball back actually to Yotta, and I'm thinking he's going to put that in on his left foot, and he doesn't. He takes his time, he rolls it back to Gary Gardner, and I have to say, I think Gary Gardner didn't think it was the greatest ball, but it's gone right to the far post, and who's there but Jukovic, who is a real threat, and of course he's up against Dawson there, who's not the biggest, but I expect him to do better. Yotta's followed it in, and he's tapped it in at the other post then. Great goal from Birmingham and thoroughly deserved.
And a couple of smoke bombs have been thrown from Birmingham fans in the Tilton Road end away to our left-hand side. And blue smoke is billowing out from behind the goal, being defended by Lee Camp at the moment. From a defensive point of view, Mick, do you wonder why Hotter had so much time and nobody had picked him up?
Well, yeah, because he's out here on the right wing with us before, and I think he's going to cross it, and I can't see where he's. Well, I know where he's run to, but he's gone and took a chance that they'll win the cross, and he's knocked it in. Great goal by Birmingham.
Now Jukovic coming forward again now, tries to find Adams down the centre. Adams goes down under the challenge of Bartley, and no penalty is given. The referee had a long look, and West Bromwich Albion are really rocking here. They've given the ball away again. Adams turns and finds Mike Homer, who is away down the left-hand side, early in looking for Jukovic. And the penalty is being given, and West Bromwich Albion are capitulating here. Handball inside the penalty area as the cross was delivered in. And having scored the opening goal straight away, Birmingham City have an opportunity to make it 2-0.
Sorry, Nigel, I jumped in with the commentary there. I should have done it. I'm appealing for handball. I'm in the back four again on it. Anyway, West Brom needs to liven up. I said just before about the two teams, the intensity that Birmingham were playing, it looked like they wanted to win it, they were having it. And West Brom looked like, well, we're a good side here and we've had a good start, and they're getting overrun. And I'm loving it because it's the team from the Championship that are really beating up a team from the Premier League, and they don't look like they can cope with it just now.
Well, there have been plenty of complaints from the West Bromwich Albion players.
None at all. Tamball, absolute stonewall. Not bother what they're saying, he put his hand up and he handled it.
Well, Hotter will take the penalty. What an opportunity here for Birmingham City. And West Bromwich Albion do not know what has hit them.
Don't like his run up.
It is Hotter, left-footed, and it's saved! Saved by Johnston, and the former Aston Villa goalkeeper has saved a penalty at St Andrews. Hotter, having scored one, has missed a golden opportunity to make it 2-0.
I said I don't like his run up. To me, it looks like he can only hit it in one place. He's got to whip it to the keeper's left hand, and that's what he did. And the keeper's guessed right. I know if he goes the other way, but I said before, I just didn't like his run up. Give yourself a better chance.
Hotter will now take the penalty, take the corner rather, high to the far post. It's headed away initially by Rodriguez and then Barnes. Rodriguez will chase, but Kieftenbeld has got there first down the left for Birmingham. Looks to hit the byline, it's a low one into the near post. Adams will get there before Livermore tries to wriggle his way back into the penalty area. Kieftenbeld with the cross, it's cleared away as far as Hotter. Now back in field towards Harley Dean. He's got support from Hotter again down the right-hand side. Hotter has to pirouette and try and get the ball back onto his left foot. Dean now with a left-footed cross high into the area. Jukovic challenging Hegazi for the header. It's cleared away initially, but West Bromwich Albion are still labouring here until Dean closes down Townsend, and it balloons high into those West Bromwich Albion fans for a goal kick.
Well, the bigger player in Hegazi dealt with Jukovic at the fact. That's a really good defending header, by the way, because Jukovic is on the move, and if he just allows him to get any further, he scores with that. And Hegazi stopped him. West Brom, they've got to have some here, by the way, and pull the finger out and get after them and get after Birmingham. They've just been let off the hook completely with that penalty. And such a disappointment. I said Yotta's got to score more goals. There's his best opportunity from the penalty spot.
Well, a team that had scored 4 in their opening 6 games should have made it 2 in 2 minutes, but as Mick said, it was a short run-up, and a left-footed player was always going to put that ball exactly where Johnston knew it was going.
Well, I thought so. As soon as I saw him, I didn't like it. And I know if he puts it in the other corner, we didn't. And I'm thinking, I know where he's going. The keeper read it as well, and he's made a great save.
Magazi forward now for West Brom, who are trailing by a goal to nil, but must believe they've had a real let-off. Now Brunt forward towards Barnes, who's been given room on the half-turn to find Townsend down this near side, the left, back in field towards Barnes. Barnes plays the 1-2 with Gale. Sliding challenge comes in though from Morrison, and then a challenge by Gale on Gardner, and it's a free kick. And really, we have a local derby on our hands now.
Well, Gale's not happy with it because he thinks Michael Morrison's just fallen over very easily, but welcome to his world, because I'm sure he's done it before to a few defenders.
It's Birmingham 1, West Brom 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix, proud sponsors of the EFL, here when you need us. Don't forget tomorrow, Newcastle against Arsenal with Dance and Perry Groves at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2 from the Premier League. I'll be alongside Mickey Gray at Ewood Park for Blackburn against Villa at 5:30. As Birmingham come forward again now, the back heel from Che Adams, who is a real box of tricks, looking for Maghoma. He doesn't find him, but all Phillips can do is just hammer the ball out of play on the far side for a throw-in. And Birmingham are swarming all over West Bromwich Albion at the moment, and they've had some terrific wins so far this season. West Brom 4-3 at Norwich, of course the 7-1 against Queen's Park Rangers, and beating Stoke 2-1 last week, or before the international break. But they've also lost at home to Bolton. They lost 1-0 at Middlesbrough in injury time, in a game which really they should have won. And they're just signs that they need to really adapt to life in the Championship once again. But Phillips will come forward now on the far side, back in field towards Brunt, but the pass was overhit. Brunt has to scamper, gets help from Bartley, and then Brunt is strong enough to shrug off Jutkiewicz, and it's back towards Agazi again. Dawson with a low ball forward, straight into the path of Maghoma, who can now weave his magic through the centre circle for Birmingham City, finds Gardner, and Gardner quickly loses it, and Townsend will knock it wide to the far side. Phillips coming forward down the right, early into the area, headed on at the near post. Gale will control it. It's fired in by Townsend right across the face of goal, and he really screwed the effort. May have taken a deflection, it did, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, a little bit of good play there by West Brom. I feel that if they're playing the way they do, the two centre forwards have got to run in the channels, Dwight Gale and Jay Rodriguez, and try and find Harvey Barnes. I think they're trying to find Harvey Barnes quite a lot with the ball, and Birmingham are being clever. They're playing that and stopping it, and every time they try and play it into there, they've won it back, or most times, and broke on them. But anyway, the corner here now for West Bromwich Albion.
Corner on the far side, everybody back for Birmingham City. Sam Johnston, the only player inside the West Brom half of the field.
Some big boys in there, Nigel.
Absolutely. Harley Dean currently tangling with Carl Bartlett, and West Brom have a posse of 4 players all gathered on the edge of the penalty area. Now Gardner pushes into Rodriguez, like a pair of rutting stags on the edge of the box, as the ball is whipped in towards that near post area and headed wide. In the end it was Dawson who arrived, but via a Birmingham head, because a corner's been given.
I thought he got it wrong, the referee. I thought it was a West Brom head that headed it out. Anyway, it's another corner, so if it should have been a goal kick, and the score from it, we'll be seeing some fair bit of anger, I think.
Phillips will take it. The Birmingham fans not happy, as you can hear. It's an in-swinger from Phillips, and Camp came forward. The defender ahead of him may have got there first to head the ball away, and it's a throw-in to West Bromwich Albion.
Well done, Lee Camp, because they were criticising the decision maybe to play him, and I heard the comment saying a bit more experience, and he's handled that really well. He's not the biggest, he's come out and made a good punch.
Well, he saw life at both ends of the Championship last season on the books of Cardiff, although he didn't play, and he was also on loan at Sunderland for a time, as West Brom get a free kick on the right corner of the penalty area. Dwight Gale going down. Henderson was the Birmingham player who was involved, and this a real opportunity again for West Brom to get the numbers forward.
Stupid free kick to give away. We get the stats at the end of games, and one of ours when I joined Ipswich was that we give more free kicks away in our third, defending third. Consequently, you give goals away that you concede from them, and you've really got to avoid that. That's just a real silly one. Gives them a real chance now.
Birmingham lead 1-0, but they've since missed a penalty and are now under pressure once again. And the free kick fired low into the near post and deflected, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And this time it was the West Brom players who were convinced it should have been a corner. It was fired in towards that near post area. I think Dawson may have been the player who was closest to it, and Birmingham breathe again.
It's a clever free kick. I'm expecting it to be whipped to the goalie, and then people running across him, and it was hit low and hard at the near post. Was it Dawson that got across him, got a nick? And again, it's just gone wide of the near post. And the referee got it right this time, as the fans let him know.
Camp clears downfield, and the free kick has been given to Birmingham. Jutkiewicz tangling with Higazi. And people look at Jutkiewicz's goal record, but as Mick was saying, he is a presence anywhere under a high ball, and he's proving that so far. Helped to set up the goal, and he will be one of the targets here for this free kick, which Hotter will take. He can curl this in left-footed. Jutkiewicz is waiting. And it's a clever free kick played down the line in the end for Maghoma down the Birmingham right. He of course will have to twist and turn. A Cruyff turn, a low ball into the near post, and the clearance from Rodriguez strikes Hotter, spins away towards this near side for a throw-in.
Clever free kick. West Bromwich Albion held a really high line. I mean, really pressing the free kick. And so if you put it in generally, he's going to go through to the goalkeeper. So they've tried to play up the side of the wall, and Maghoma gets to the ball, but he really needed Jota a bit of help to roll it back to him. Unfortunate, but a bit of thought into the free kick with a high press on the defensive line.
Higazi with a good ball out wide to the far side for Phillips, who has managed to isolate Pedersen, and West Bromwich Albion are moving forward here with some purpose. Phillips though does well to evade Pedersen the first time, then the second time Pedersen makes the challenge, Phillips wins it back, and Phillips has jabbed the ball underneath Camp, and West Bromwich Albion, who should be 2 goals down, are now level 1-1.
Phillips has isolated Pedersen, as you said, and Pedersen was different class. He stood up to him, he's tried to run him on the outside, he's tried to run on the inside, he's gone back on the outside, comes back on the inside, and he takes it off him, and then he makes a mistake and gives it back to him, and well, they've scored from it. As if Phillips has scored, he'd take a deflection, but it's sent to go in the net very, very easily. But Pedersen, who'd done really well, then makes a mess of it. And you're right, they should be 2-0 down, and now they're back in it, and I think we'll see a different side of it.
And that really sums up Birmingham City's season. They've handed points to the opposition late in games already when they have scored goals. Deserved to score the opening goal. They've missed a penalty, and now they've conceded an equalising goal scored by Matt Phillips.
It's the same before the game. How often do they score 2 goals? Well, I don't think they have yet this season, have they?
Well, scored a couple of times, but they've been 2 draws.
Yeah, but they give goals. But I'm saying they've got to score 2 to win the game. Could they have seen this out? I mean, Pedersen, I said I've been impressed with. He's just made a real mess of that.
And it's the West Bromwich Albion fans in fine voice in the railway end, away to our right-hand side. 5 minutes to go in the first half on TalkSport 2. 1-1 at St Andrews. Collan now looking to deliver a cross in for Birmingham from the right-hand side. Has support from Hotter. How will he be feeling now? Mixed feelings, to say the least, in the first half. Gardner lofts it forward, looking for Hotter again, and Barnes tries to sweep it forward. Rodriguez was off and running, but he misses his kick, and it's a throw-in for Birmingham midway inside their own half. Birmingham yet to win this season, and yet again they have given away a lead, and their next 2 games following this one are away to Sheffield United and then Leeds. 2 sides in prime form at the top of the table.
Yeah, you could do something out of this game, that's for sure, going there.
Here is Brunt down the line for Rodriguez, cut out by Collan. Adams can bring it forward. Jutkiewicz has to hold his run to stay onside. Jutkiewicz with a rather hopeful ball into the penalty area. Maghoma tries to control, but it's out.
It's Che Adams. Sorry, I think it's Che Adams that's bent it, didn't it? I think he wanted to. Yeah. He's looked for Maghoma to make the run. I think he was going to be offside, and Magoma's checked his run. I thought it was a fabulous ball if he can get his run on to, but he just couldn't. The back three squeezed him up and held it up, so he had to stop. Birmingham must be seething, and you know what? That really it knocks it out of you. That you just. I know they'll be thinking, how the hell are we not 2-0 up? If they're going here 1-0, by the way, that'll be the best they can get, because if they concede another before half time, there's trouble.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half on TalkSport 2. 1-1 on the home of the EFL. On Sunday, we have the Sunday exclusive live from Molineux. Wolves against Burnley. Burnley, of course, looking for their first win of the season. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. And then the Champions League is back on Tuesday and Wednesday on TalkSport next week. It's a 5:55 start on Tuesday for Inter Milan against Tottenham. That's on TalkSport. And it's Young Boys against Manchester United. An 8 o'clock kickoff on Wednesday. There's new start times for the Champions League. And on TalkSport 2 on Tuesday and Wednesday, all the action from another busy midweek in the Championship. Hagazi, right-footed ball wide to this near side, and Townsend. Hotter will play it back towards Collan, and sliding in is Gardner to win it back ahead of Brunt, and now Hotter again down the right-hand side, looks to go beyond Bartley and does so. Hotter's right-footed cross high to the far post, nodded down by Jutkiewicz, and Adams with the volley, 8 yards out, left-footed, high over the top, should have scored.
Well, Jota might have thought he'd made up for his penalty miss there as he took Kyle Bartley on down this side. He had no chance. Connor Towns was trying to get back to help him, but he isolated Kyle Bartley, and he's put a great cross in with his right foot. And Jutkiewicz, the much maligned for not scoring goals, has nodded a great ball down to Che Adams, chested it down and blazed it over the crossbar. Chances, they've had chances, they've got to score, they've got to take those chances. Let me tell you, Gary Monk can't do any more. He's set his team up brilliantly. They've played very, very well. They've just wasted opportunities.
Headed forward by Dean up towards the halfway line. Kieftenbeld was just caught there by Livermore, and it will be a free kick for Birmingham City. And it's been a dramatic first half here at St Andrews. 90 seconds to play. And Birmingham City may just have a nagging feeling in the back of their minds that they could have blown this one already.
I hope they come out of the second half with the positivity from the performance and not the negativity from the result as it stands at the moment, the scoreline, because they've been excellent.
Camp with a free kick forward. There's a wrestling match between Bartley and Jutkiewicz. Bartley heads away. And now Collan infield towards Hotter again with the long hair flowing behind him. Hotter looks to hit the byline down the right-hand side, held up by Bartley, and he's clever enough just to knock the ball infield, back off Bartley behind for a corner.
He loves having Bartley out there. He's got him on toast when he gets him out wide.
It's worked shorter. The corner's worked short to Maghoma, headed away up in the air on the edge of the penalty area, knocked back in field by Jutkiewicz and fired back in by Dean. And dare I say it, a central defender's finish, left-footed, nearer the corner flag than the goal.
No, I think you're wrong. I'd have missed it by much more than that, I have to be honest. You're dead right. His eyes lit up, unfortunately, his heart rate was going, everything else. Lord! But he's a bit calm.
If you're Darren Moore at half-time, do you still go in and tear a strip off them for the performance, even though they've got back into the game?
Well, I would be at this, yeah, because I don't think they've performed. I think they're very fortunate, and it's a mistake that's given them the goal. I think they're fortunate to be 1-1 at the minute. They've run a throw in now down in their half, and the performance has been ordinary at best for me.
Minute of first half added time to be played. We're into that now. Townsend back towards Barnes, and here is Bartley on halfway, clipped in field towards Hagazi, and he's got time to.
Birmingham will be an excellent Nigel, but you can't keep saying that and not winning games.
No.
Some stage you got to win.
It was a fairly drab affair when they drew 0-0 here against Queen's Park Rangers. Only one shot on target, so they've already bettered that here tonight, and of course scored, but should have scored at least one more, missing the penalty. Kieftenbeld early forward towards Hotter, who is clever enough to try and just clip the ball over the head of Bartley and run round him, but Bartley had seen that trick before. But now Colin can bring it forward for Birmingham down the right. It's Hotter again, everything going through him in an attacking sense for Birmingham, but there goes the half-time whistle, and there is applause from both sets of supporters. A terrific game, but Birmingham will believe they could have had this game won by now, taking the lead through Hotter in the 26th minute. 2 minutes later, Carl Bartley penalised for handball. Hotter took the penalty. It was saved by Sam Johnston. And 6 minutes before half-time, Matt Phillips sped into the penalty area down the right, twisted and turned beyond Pedersen, benefited from an error, and fired the ball underneath Camp to give us a half-time score of Birmingham City 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Thank you, Dan. There don't look to be any changes made by either side at half-time. So the Birmingham team is Camp in goal, Colin, Morrison, Dean and Pedersen, Hotter, Kieftenbeld, Gardner and Maghoma, Adams and Jutkovic. 4-4-2. For West Brom, Johnston in goal, three at the back, Dawson, Bartley and Higazi, with Phillips on the right, Townsend on the left, Livermore and Brunt in midfield, with Barnes and Rodriguez either side of Gale, although there is a certain amount of fluidity about the West Bromwich Albion attack, and it was Phillips who really provided the drive and the passion to equalise the goal from Hotter to get West Bromwich Albion back into this game just before half-time. Durham Moore had one or two words with the fourth official, Robert Jones, at the start of the second half as Birmingham get the game underway in their blue and white shirts, white shorts and blue socks. West Brom in their change kit, the green and white stripes, green shorts and green socks, and it's a real throwback to the 1970s, the team built by Big Ron, the 3 degrees and everything else, when West Bromwich Albion were one of the most attractive teams to watch in the country. And they have a free kick on the far side, which is quickly played in field by Brunt. Now Higazi, found by Dawson, and Higazi has time with both Adams and Jutkovic stepping off. Rodriguez tries to flicker a flat ball right down the centre, looking for the run of Gale, but it was beyond him, and it's gathered by Lee Camp, who is defending the Birmingham goal away to our right hand side, the railway end of St Andrews. And the crowd of around 24,000 here tonight, watching a very good game of football so far, as Dawson tries to clear on the far side, gets it all wrong, and it's a throw into Birmingham City. Colin will take it. Hotter receives on the right corner of the penalty area, drifts a high cross which is beyond Jutkovic and also Maghoma, and it will be a goal kick. Mick McCarthy.
Yeah, it started as it finished, I think, that Birmingham wanted to press up the pitch. West Bromwich Albion using the 3 centre-backs, splitting, trying to play out. Shea Adams and Jutkovic letting them have it. I don't think they see them as any threat. They're stopping the balls into the midfield players. Here we are, passing it across the back. They'll probably end up having the most passes, but not caused any damage. And I have to be honest, they don't look comfortable with it.
They haven't all evening, and Birmingham have done their best to capitalise on that. Dawson plays it straight to Maghoma. That's really a case in point on this near side. He's got Jutkovic providing some width, but it's won back well by Livermore, who was trying to release Barnes down the West Brom right, and it's cut up by the blonde-haired Pedersen, and it will be a throw-in for West Bromwich Albion.
I mean, for the time being, Dan, Birmingham have been solid. 4-4-2, no gaps between them. What West Brom want the game to open up, really. They'd like it, a bit larger. They've got front two, got speed up front and a bit of craft in behind with Harvey Barnes. And I think they'd like the game to open up, but Birmingham are not going to do that. They're not going to go chasing it up the pitch. They're letting the back three have it and taking care of everybody else with their shape.
And of course, with the back three for West Brom, Birmingham do have the extra man at times in certain areas of the field, as Higazi prepares to take a free kick awarded just inside the West Brom half, and he rather scuffs it as he plays it wide towards Bartley, playing on the left of the three. Dawson now wants the ball to the right, and it's given to him by Hegazi. He's eventually challenged by Jutkiewicz. The ball was pinged in field, too strong for Barnes, and the loose ball was seized upon by Kieftenbeld, who was then challenged by Livermore, and it loops high over the Birmingham technical area, out of play into the main stand, and it will be a throw-in for the home side. Taken by Pedersen. Jutkiewicz does well to control on the chest, hooked forward towards Adams, headed away by Hegazi. Now Maghoma infield again towards Pedersen. Maghoma once again, but it was all very tight down this near side, and Phillips, the West Brom goal scorer, makes the challenge. Early stages of the second half. 1-1 here at St Andrews on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Jutkiewicz now juggling on the edge of the penalty area, tries to play the ball in field, and then Adams is penalised for a challenge on Hegazi. He gives away about a good 3/4 of a foot to the Egyptian, but the free kick's given. And the attendance, 22,715, and just under 3,000 have come to support West Bromwich Albion. Of course, it's not a long journey, even on a Friday evening, but terrific support for the Baggies. And many of their supporters will not have been too happy by what they saw in the opening 45 minutes, but they got out of jail with a 1-1 scoreline. Now Gardner heads it forward for Birmingham. Hotter tries to control on the chest on the far side, but coming in to make the challenge was Bartley, and it will be a throw-in for Birmingham again. And it's all rather subdued off the field after a lively atmosphere in the first half.
Nigel, I thought the same. It's a derby game, but I think you point out beforehand it's not the real derby. It's Wolves and West Brom, and it's Birmingham and Aston Villa.
5 minutes into the second half. Now Adams trying to wriggle his way beyond Hegazi into the penalty area. Driven wide to the right, support from Collan. Swept in low by Maghoma. Adams with the shot, and almost in slow motion that was heading towards the far corner, and it's palmed around the post by Johnston.
I just said that is a great save because it wasn't hit properly. I think he set himself for a real powerful shot straight at him, and he's mishit it down to his right hand side, and he's had to scramble and get down. It's a really good save by Sam Johnson. Good play from Birmingham.
Maghoma will take the corner. Hotter is the option short, but he's quickly closed down by Phillips. Maghoma just looking to see what might be waiting inside the penalty area. It's gone short again to Hotter, who attacks the penalty area. Back towards Maghoma again. He's now got double coverage and eventually tries to pass the ball between both of the West Bromwich Albion players. It breaks down, and it's a throw-in to the Baggies, but it's then cleared away quickly by Kieftenbeld, high and behind for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
Kieftenbeld does a great job, you know. He's got legs in there, full of energy. He can pass it as well, but he certainly takes care. I mean, they try and overload in there. We saw that with Swansea three weeks ago, is it? And they took care of the three in there. Himself and Gardner do a really good job.
Now Craig Dawson, who was one of the longest serving players at West Brom, signed in 2010 when he was the incredible goal scoring central defender at Rochdale in the lower divisions. Now Hegazi wide towards Bartley again. He'll be well known to Gary Monk following his time at Leeds United a couple of years ago on loan. And here is an opportunity for Maghoma to try and use his pace, but Phillips was simply quicker on this near side, and he wins it back for West Brom. And Matt Phillips,
wow,
he's done a really good job so far.
He had a faster car, didn't he? Wow, how quick was he to overtake him? Maghoma set off, and I thought he's got, he can run. Matt Phillips just overtook him, nicked the ball off him. It's the other side of it. He's a wing back. He's right up the pitch, Matt Phillips, but he's done the dirty side there. Well done.
A player who's been relegated with three different sides: Blackpool, Queen's Park Rangers and West Brom, looking to help Albion back at the first attempt, something which they've achieved twice in previous years. Now a long ball forward out of defence, strikes a West Bromwich Albion player, so Birmingham weren't offside. And here is Hotter coming forward now, breaking into the penalty area down the right, going down, and he was looking to win a very cheap penalty, and the referee, Andy Madley, not interested. It's a goal kick.
He just run out of space there with Jota, because he's got Kyle Bartley out there again, but he never slowed him down. Sometimes, if you're out there a wide player, you've got to slow the centre back down and then take him on and beat him for pace. He just kept going at the same speed and just ran the ball out.
Hegazi square towards Dawson for West Brom, and now further square to the right for Phillips. Infield towards Livermore. Phillips continues his run, but Livermore chooses to come back in field and find Higazi once again. And West Brom undoubtedly have the more technical players on the field as Rodriguez finds Barnes inside the penalty area. Left foot shot from him, brilliant save by Camp to readjust his feet and somehow get something behind it. But West Brom are coming forward again now before Pedersen will clear, and Birmingham City really indebted to their goalkeeper.
Well, they were speared there. That's Brunt getting on the ball. Excellent passer of the ball. Better than Livermore. Better than certainly by the three centre-backs. He's come and taken it off them. He's fired it into Gale. I think we've flicked it for Barnes. He's in. And if Camp needed to answer any of his critics, that is a wonderful save down to his left-hand side. Brilliant.
Now Dawson for West Brom. Oh, straight to Adams. And Adams is off and running towards the West Brom goal before Dawson recovers his error with an excellent challenge. Spreads it wide towards the far side. Townsend went in late on Jutkiewicz, but it wasn't Jutkiewicz, it was Collan, but Birmingham had the ball back and the referee plays the advantage. It's Hotter wriggling beyond two challenges, and eventually the third one does bring him down, and it's a free kick for Birmingham, level with the edge of the penalty area on the far side.
I think he's going to book whoever it was that clattered Collan. I think he'll be showing him a yellow card. I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
It's Brunt, I think. It's a long way from...
He's going to feel a Brunt of it as well. Yeah, he's giving him a yellow card. It's deserved as well. I have to say, Dawson gave the ball away there and scampered back, nicked it back off Che Adams, and then he picks it up and gives it away again. He's not going to endear himself to the West Brom fans if he does that.
It was Townsend who was booked in the end.
Townsend, was it?
On the edge of the penalty area. Brunt, I think, was pleading for leniency. But it's a free kick for Birmingham. Hotter will take it. He and Mag Homer have worked virtually every set piece short between them so far. Dean and Morrison are forward to supplement Adams and Jutkiewicz. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 West Brom players all lined up a couple of yards inside the penalty area. And Hotter will look to whip this ball in left-footed and try and cause some damage. It's fired in towards the penalty spot, and the West Brom defensive wall does its job. Hooked back in by Morrison, and then the second ball in from him is headed away inside the 6-yard area by Rodriguez. Gale will try and hold the ball up on halfway, but he is challenged by Gardner. And then Kieftenbeld tries to win it back from Rodriguez. Rodriguez is tumbled, but the referee is happy for play to continue. Says it was a fair challenge from Dean, who was coming back after being forward for the free kick. Now a long ball is allowed to bounce on the edge of the area. Adams will try and spin. Right-footed shot from him. Strikes Higazi. Higazi is then pushed off the ball by Adams as the ball bobbles towards the corner flag on the far side. Higazi and Adams now have their own personal duel before Adams is penalised by the assistant referee right in front of him on the far side, and the Birmingham crowd all around that corner flag not happy with the decision.
I think they're not happy with the decision, but they were so happy the way that Che Adams has got hold of it in the box. He's had his shot, it blocked, he turned, he chased it again, won it again. It's just the perseverance and the endeavour and the hard work that he's showing, and that desire looks like to drag his team up and get back in the lead of this game. And I think he's given a bit of a soft free kick in the corner there to defend, and the fans reacted as they'd expect him to. Listen to him now, great support.
And keep right on is booming out from the Tilton Road end away to our left-hand side as Johnston will take the free kick. We played 12 minutes in the second half on Talk Sport 2. It is Birmingham 1, West Bromwich Albion 1 with Screwfix. For the latest offers, visit your local store or screwfix.com here when you need us. Dawson for West Bromwich Albion. Again, neither of the three central defenders have looked entirely comfortable when in possession, so Livermore comes short. He plays the 1-2 with Brunt, back towards Livermore again, and straight to Gardner, and Birmingham will pour forward now. West Brom's passing at times has been shocking so far in the second half. Hotter out on the far side, the right, back towards Gardner. He's got support from Collan. Infield again towards Hotter. Collan will try and provide the width, and the cross in from him skims the roof of the netting from Hotter and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, you're looking at playing this system of the 3 centre-backs, and there was some great success last year playing that in the Championship, and Wolves certainly played it with a great deal of success. Sheffield United, arguably the best one, and either side, their centre-backs left and right were prepared to get forward and almost make an extra man.
Here is Hotter coming forward again now. Jutkiewicz has Mike Homer in space on the edge of the area, but the pass doesn't quite find him. Cleared by Hegazi. Kieftenbeld on towards Mike Homer. Down the left-hand side for Birmingham. He'll try and go beyond Dawson. Dawson challenges. It spins up off his knee behind for a corner to Birmingham City, and they are in the ascendancy once again with 58 minutes played at St Andrews.
Excellent second half, Nigel. They've started the way they did in the first half, and they're getting after West Brom. They're winning the ball high up the pitch, and they're creating real chances and causing problems for West Bromwich Albion.
Will Birmingham not work a corner short for a change? Well, Hotter is over it. Mike Homer is there, but so too is Phillips. And this time Hotter does deliver it, and the ball goes out before it comes back in. And with a left-footed player trying to deliver that sort of ball, that's always the risk.
He'd be getting dog's abuse if I'm running back from that now. If I've come up to try and head that ball in, keep it in, give yourself a chance. You're saying they've took short corners. He's been excellent, Jota, but that ball, you're relying on him. Put it in the middle, give yourself a chance. You've let them off the hook. They've just had a bit of pressure, let them right off the hook. Pressure off. Nearly
an hour played at St Andrews. It's just the start of the football weekend across the TalkSport network. Tomorrow, a double header on Matchday Live 2. Newcastle against Arsenal at 3. Blackburn against Villa at 5:30. Watford against Manchester United will be over on TalkSport at 5:30 as well, with Laura Woods and the team. And then the Sunday exclusive from 1 on Sunday on TalkSport has commentary on Wolves against Burnley. Now an opportunity for Gale to drive forward, finding Barnes. A low cross into the area is scraped away by Morrison at the near post. Here is Phillips for West Brom down the right hand side, back towards Dawson again, who checks away from Jutkiewicz. A long diagonal ball from him is straight to Gardner, but it deflects away from him, and then Rodriguez, but Rodriguez with the ponytail recovers well. Has Phillips in space, who looks to be West Brom's most likely at the moment down this near side, but he's snuffed out this time by Mike Homer, who charges forward. He's fouled by Phillips, and it will be a free kick for Birmingham City once again.
I'm loving that. They're all saying it was a shoulder charge. Yes, it was, in his back. That's a foul.
And Phillips, one of the few players quick enough on the field to get back and make that sort of challenge. Birmingham worked the free kick wide to the right-hand side. It slid into the feet of Adams on the edge of the penalty area. Now wide towards Hotter. Again coming back in field onto his left foot, and the low cross is charged down. And West Brom will clear, but it's a poor clearance. Now Collan finding Adams in space down the right. Clips the cross in, looking for Mike Homer with the header. And he dived in where the boots were flying, and it spun off the side of his head and behind for a goal kick.
Well, that's suddenly just gone into slow motion, that, because it looked like he was going to get on it and head it in the net. It was a great move as well. He stuck Collan in down the side. Collan stuck Che Adams in down the side, who's ran down the channel, got a great cross in. Magoma, who's come from the left into the middle. Great chance.
Now Harvey Barnes tries to lay it wide to this near side, and Phillips, and it's not really been Harvey Barnes' sort of game so far.
I've been disappointed with him. He's playing as that, whatever they call it, a number 10 now, in the hole. Get out of the hole if that's what it is. Get out of the space. Go and get the ball somewhere else and try and move. But they keep trying to find him, and they're blocking it up. So move and try and find the ball elsewhere. Just change it around a bit.
Now Barnes does find Phillips, who burst into the area down the right, but the ball was out before it was clipped in by Gale. It was a very good finish into the far corner, but the goal kick had already been given.
It shows you what Gale's all about, though. I know it was out, but he's run across the defender, and I always say to anybody, put it in the net, let him disallow it, and he did.
I think Gale maybe got a raw deal at Newcastle, because he did okay in a team which lacked goals last season. He scored his fair share.
I think wherever he's been, he's done well, scored goals. I mean, the stats might make a liar of me, I don't know, but I think he's been Johnny on the spot. He gets goals, and somehow they just feel he's not Premier League footballer.
Well, he got 23 in the Championship 2 years ago for Newcastle. And he had time out injured as well during that season. But
what did he get in the Premier League? If you get 10 in the Premier League, you're doing well. You know, it's only the top ones, the Agueros, that get 20 odd goals plus playing in the top team. So I'm surprised that he's had to drop out of the Premier League. I know he's been relegated, but I'm surprised.
Well, he's got a decent opportunity, you feel, to get back into the Premier League, but West Brom will have plenty of these sort of nights over this season. 63 minutes played, 1-1 at St Andrews. 6 goals last season for Newcastle, Jason Bourne, our producer, tells us. And that was in a team which didn't score too many goals.
That's a team that, sit back and they don't want to get relegated.
Now Townsend with a high cross into the area. Good header away by Harley Dean because he knew that Gale was in the vicinity. And then it's hooked clear by Colin over the top. Jutkiewicz able to control this back to goal. Lays it in field towards Adams, and the back heel on will find Hotter bursting into the penalty area. Left foot shot from him is too high. And again, Hotter looks great until the key moment.
I was going to say it's ridiculous. It's great play. First of all by Jutkiewicz, then by Adams. 2 centre forwards linking up is terrific, and they've got runners from midfield. They've got Jota running, and he's also got Magoma coming up on his outside. If he'd have just driven another 5 yards, I think he could have rolled Magoma in, and he'd have had a free shot at target. Blazing it over the bar again. He's let them off the hook. It's not good enough. He's got to do better than that. Going back to Gale, he gets that chance. Tell you, he's going to work the keeper. You'll have to watch him for 90 odd minutes.
Now Morrison steps in before Rodriguez to clear, and Kieftenbeld just launches it forward and throws his head back in frustration because he had both Jutkiewicz and Adams ahead of him.
Well, Gary Monk will be bold before the end of this season. He'll be pulling his hair out, I'm telling you, because they're playing well. Really good performance again. Should be in front. Mistake gives a goal away. Missed a penalty. Another one blazed over the bar. One just before that half time blazed over the bar. It's Taylor missed opportunities.
65 minutes played. Birmingham 1, West Brom 1 on TalkSport 2 on the home of the EFL, as Johnston just pressurised there by Adams. Does well to clear. Phillips controls on this near side but can't pick out a teammate. And now sliding in is Gardner to win it back for Birmingham. Can't find Homer. And the ball is laid wide by Rodriguez on the far side. Another player who's rather been on the periphery at times in terms of creativity for West Brom. And he plays it straight out for a throw into Birmingham again. Infield from Gardner. And now Colin wide towards Hotter, who has been a central figure for Birmingham, not always for the right reasons. Colin with a cross into the area looking for Jutkiewicz, just over his head, flicked away by Hegazi. And Phillips now looking to put on the afterburners for West Brom at the other end. Held up by Adams, and Adams came all the way back there from the penalty area, using his pace to get the challenge in and ensure that West Brom got no more than a throw-in.
Good race that, Che Adams. Very, very good. I mean, the responsibility to his teammates there. He's tracked him back and forced him out for a throw-in. I actually thought it was a Birmingham throw. The referee gave it to West Bromwich Albion.
And Birmingham are missing their real pace merchant, Isaac Vassell, who's been out for a year with a knee injury and then had to have another operation on a thigh problem during the international break. And with him in the side, they will have another outlet as Hotter comes forward now for Birmingham. And he goes to ground as the challenge comes in from Bartley. And then another West Brom player is left flat out by Hotter, some way from the ball.
Well, I can't imagine Jota putting too much of a punch on him, that's for sure. I think he's suggesting he hit him in the face. But going back to Vassell, he was a good signing, I thought. Terrific from Luton. And it's such a shame for him that he's been injured for, above 12 months now.
Well, they've virtually never seen him.
No.
As a result of that. Now Adams, who was signed from Sheffield United as a youngster, losing out, and here is Barnes. Good pace from him, and he is fouled by Kieftenbeld, who actually shoves Barnes over, and then there's a pushing match between the two. Kieftenbeld is booked either for the foul or his reaction, and Kieftenbeld has continued to show his disgust, and he needs to be careful here.
Yeah, that's a cute way of getting him into trouble. That somebody else, it wasn't Barnes, and it's Dwight Gale that's come across and pushed him in the chest and started another little bit of a row. And of course, if Kieftenbeld reacts badly to that, he could end up getting sent off.
And Kieftenbeld was the player who should have joined Jarby 12 months ago in the transfer window, but the paperwork never got through on time, so he stayed at Birmingham. Wasn't a player favoured by Harry Redknapp, but as soon as he left, he was straight back into the team. In what was another turbulent season at St Andrews. They've survived on the final day, 2 seasons running.
I tell you, if they're going to have all the troubles that they seem to have, they need players like him. And I'm saying committed. I know he was going to Derby. Seems he's not committed.
Here's the free kick played in by Phillips. Agazi round the back and able to divert the ball towards goal, and it brushes the inside of his right boot behind for a goal kick.
Sorry, Naz, I was saying before the free kick, he is a real committed player to the team. I think he puts a great shift in every time I've seen him. I think he's a capable footballer, but he seems like a real inspiration in there whenever he's played. And you know what? He wanted to leave Derby to go to Derby because he wasn't being played. Ultimately, but he's back in the team, and I think he's a really good player for them. And
it's possibly he was told he wasn't wanted as well, so why not?
Absolutely.
Camp.
Don't stay where you're not wanted.
Absolutely. Flicks on. And now Birmingham try to win it again, just inside the West Brom half, and it's laid back by Jutkiewicz to Pedersen. Wide to the left-hand side of Maghoma, who will try and keep the ball in play. Runs into Dawson, bounces off him, then sweeps it forward, and Bartley, with a complete miss-kick on the edge of his own penalty area, putting Dawson under pressure, who does well to avoid conceding the corner by just hoofing the ball into the main stand, and it will be a throw-in for Birmingham City.
Bartley's having a tough game. They've got him out there. I don't think he likes being out there on that left-hand side.
Pedersen will take the throw-in, the Birmingham left-back. Into Maghoma, who turns away from Phillips, goes down inside the penalty area, and the free kick has been given right on the edge.
Good decision by the referee. It is on the edge. Don't think he got in the penalty area. It was his momentum that took him in there after the clip. Great play by Maghoma, though.
And Birmingham continue to look the greater threat throughout the second half. But you just feel that West Brom may get one chance and punish them. Into the final 20 minutes, 1-1 on Talk Sport 2. Maghoma and Hotter are over the free kick, and it is 2 inches outside the penalty area on this near side.
I'm glad you're still using old money as well, but
always do. Everyone in football does. Maghoma with the free kick, swept away at the near post. And now Pedersen. And 2 Birmingham players have been left in. One of them is Harley Dean, the central defender. Lays it back to Hotter, who maybe thought about the shot. Back towards Dean again. Dean's cross, though, is charged down. It'll drop to Rodriguez, who does well to find Barnes. Barnes with the early ball forward. And now the break is on for West Brom. Brunt was chasing. Pollan gets there first. And there were bodies tumbling in field, both Pedersen and Gale. I think Pedersen may have been clipped by Gale. Again, it was some way from the ball.
Harley Dean getting booked, I think, for his tackle. He gave the ball away, didn't he? Gave the ball away and went searching for it, and I think he tried to stop the break, actually, and he was quite happy to take one for the team. Well, he didn't stop the break, but he has took one for the team. Got a yellow card.
19 minutes to play. 1-1, and there is going to be movement on the Birmingham bench very soon. But West Brom are attacking here with Rodriguez down the left-hand side, has support in field from Townsend. It's his cross high over Camp, and it just maybe glanced the face of the crossbar there, but the ball had gone behind, and it will be a goal kick. And it's Omar Bogle who will be coming on, the player on loan from Cardiff City. Now 10 matches without a goal across a number of clubs.
That's a great sub to be putting on, that, isn't it, when you're looking for a goal? I know it's hard, because I thought he played all right against Swansea not 3 weeks ago. Again, it's goals.
Here is Adams chasing a long ball forward. 2 West Bromwich Albion defenders, Bartley and Dawson, rather got themselves in a tangle. And Hal Robson-Kanu will be coming on shortly for West Bromwich Albion as well. So both teams looking to make an attacking change as we head towards the final 15 minutes on Talk Sport 2. Now Hotter. Was he caught on the far side? He was. Again, it was Chris Brunt with the foul, and it's a free kick about 10 yards outside the penalty area, wide on the far side, the right. And again, the atmosphere is rather subdued inside St Andrews. Here is the Birmingham change, and it's Che Adams who'll be replaced by Omar Bogle. Adams has worked hard and he's had a couple of opportunities. And if Birmingham don't win this game, he'll look back on that one in the first half. 8 yards out, swing of the left foot and high over the crossbar.
Certainly will.
And Bogle, born in Birmingham, will come on. Hal Robson-Kanu may have to wait as West Brom are defending the free kick.
They're defending it, so I wouldn't be doing that. But attacking it, yes, because people are thinking, oh, where's he going? What's he doing? Who's marking him? Well, it's the zonal anyway from the free kick.
Hotter with the free kick, high towards the far post. Jutkiewicz rising, but it's a terrific header away inside the penalty area by Dawson. It's launched long downfield for West Brom. Pedersen will get there before Barnes. Bogle's first touch is a flick on wide to the far side. There is a chase for Morrison, and the back pass for Johnston puts him in trouble under pressure from Jutkiewicz, and eventually he found Hegazi, who somehow just scrapes the ball away. And again, defensively, West Bromwich Albion have not been convincing, but Birmingham have not been good enough to punish them.
Well, Sam Johnson was great with his feet there, though. The sub's going on now.
And it's Jay Rodriguez who is coming off, a player who has scored 4 times this season. 3 of them have been penalties. And Hal Robson-Kanu, who recently retired from international football with Wales, will come on to replace him. Another good man to...
He just retired from Wales. Has he had such a long and illustrious career with Wales? And how old is he?
Well, he's 29. Maybe
well, his best days are past him. There's his best days in front of him at 29.
It's given away by Hegazi, straight to Mag Homer, who comes forward now. Cuts infield from the left-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Mag Homer's right-footed shot maybe had the sting taken out of it by a deflection, and it's an easy gather for Johnston.
I was going to say well reached. I think you let him off the hook there with the...
Now at the other end, Dean will have to do some defending, and he's done enough to knock the ball off Robson-Kanu.
He got away with murder there. He was trying to put it out for a throw-in, and it's just hit Robson-Kanu and gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Robson-Kanu has sort of said he'll step away if he's required. He will come back
do
in.
me a favour. You play international football until you are 36 if you can. You play as long as you can. If you're being in the team, why would you give it up?
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not having that in any shape or form. I'm happy to have that argument with anybody. Discussion, shall we say.
Well, surely you never retire from international football and always make yourself available.
It retires you. That's what it does. And you're hanging on hoping you're going to get another game. You know you're not.
The Wales have got a number of fine young players coming through, and maybe he felt... Well, here is Gale chasing for West Brom. He timed his run perfectly to stay onside, and he's found Phillips down the right. Phillips with a high cross to the far post, which is glanced away, and it's good defending by Collan. And in the end, it's a throw into Birmingham by the corner flag.
He was Connor Townsend. He wasn't big enough or powerful enough to get above Collan, and Collan dealt with it well. He must have touched Townsend on the way out, actually, because it's a Birmingham throw.
1-1, 14 minutes to play. It's Birmingham against West Brom on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix, proud sponsors of the EFL, here when you need us. Phillips now does well to knock it wide to Townsend down the right-hand side for West Brom, but it's cleared away by Dean. Dean finds Jutkiewicz, but he's given the way himself, and then the challenge comes in on Livermore about 15 yards out, and the referee is happy for Birmingham to play on. It's not long towards Hotter, and it's tied it up eventually by Bartley, but Bartley had Bogle all over him. He has to hack it wide to the far side. West Brom continue to defend in a ragged fashion. It's given away by Hegazi straight to Mag Homer, and now sliding in his Kifton belt. It's clipped into the box for Hotter. Hotter across the face of goal, and there was nobody there in a blue shirt. And West Brom again getting away with murder defensively.
Birmingham are all over them. We've got another sub going on here, Nigel.
And it's Gareth Barry who is coming on. And it's Chris Brunt who is coming off. So the 37-year-old comes on to replace the 33-year-old. And his appearance against Queen's Park Rangers in the 7-1 was his first ever outside the Premier League, Gareth Barry.
See, I understand Chris Brunt retiring from international football at 37, but not at 29. Birmingham, just going back to Birmingham, are all over them. They've gone and pressed them. They're trying to play out, and it's not happening for them. And I'm feeling for Jota a little bit, because I think he's been excellent. But when he's got into that position where he can punish them, he just hasn't done it.
Collan heads the way, and Darren Moore unable to field the ball inside his own technical area as it bounces into the front row of the main stand, and it will be a throw-in for West Bromwich Albion as we head towards the final 10 minutes here on TalkSport 2. 1-1 it remains. Birmingham heading for a 7th match without a victory in the league at the start of the season, and once again it could be another hard luck story for them as West Brom have a free kick midway inside the Birmingham half on this near side. A challenge on Phillips, who has been the best West Bromwich Albion player irrespective of the goal he scored. He's offered a threat, and defensively he's also done well. And Phillips will take this free kick. Everybody back for Birmingham. It's drifted high into the penalty area and headed over the top in the end by Kyle Bartley. He was running onto it at some pace and couldn't keep it down.
It's a great ball. Like, you see the high line they held there, and I think if it's an in-swinger you can deal with that. The in-swinger is going to go through to the goalkeeper. If it's that out-swinger, they're bending it away from the keeper, it's a big area to defend. The keeper can never come and help you out, and they got a touch on that. It was a great ball, and they were unlucky, West Brom. They headed it over the bar.
11 minutes to play. Birmingham 1, West Brom 1. Jutkiewicz has it for Birmingham midway inside the West Brom half. Kifton Bell lays it wide to the left, and Pedersen, and it's Phillips again, just getting a boot in and then quick enough to sprint back and win it back, but then Pedersen slid in very quickly to bullet the ball out of play, and it will be a throw-in for West Bromwich Albion. Newcastle against Arsenal at 3, Blackburn against Villa at 5:30, the double header on Matchday Live 2 tomorrow on TalkSport 2. On TalkSport it is Watford against Manchester United at 5:30, with Wolves against Burnley on Sunday at 1:30. Now Robson Kanu away down the right for West Brom. Left-footed cross from him, headed away at the near post by Morrison. One back though by Dawson, and it's a good ball square from him. Wide towards the left-hand side, Townsend. Further left to pick out Barnes, who comes in field and finds Gale on the edge of the penalty area. Tried to lay it back in field towards Barnes. It's cut out though, and Jutkiewicz can chug forward for Birmingham. Wide to this near side, and Maghomer. Bogle waits inside the penalty area. Maghomer though just checks back in field and finds Kifton Bell, changing the point of the attack from left to right to pick out the run of Maxim Collan. Low in towards Jutkiewicz, who tried to turn on the edge of the box, but it was read by Hegazi. His early ball forward will be chased by Robson Kanu, and Morrison there having a few problems in dealing with it, but Pedersen steps in just to cushion a header back towards Lee Camp.
Yeah, there was a threat there from Robson Kanu with Morrison, and he knew. He's tried to hook it back over his head, and it's actually hit Robson Kanu, and it was mopped up there by Pedersen, headed back to the keeper.
Bartley rising highest among a posse of players to head Camp's goal kick clear for West Bromwich Albion. And now the early ball played forward again for Dwight Gale, and he's always patrolling in the channels looking to cause problems. Gale with a low ball in, excellent cross right through the 6-yard area, and Pedersen knew that Phillips was coming in, so he has to nudge the ball behind for a corner.
I'm not so sure Birmingham can keep the intensity up. I think it's within the last throws of the game, and it looks to me like the game's just opened up a little bit, and West Brom are getting a bit more time, and if they get a chance, I think they'll punish them.
1-1, 8.5 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Birmingham missing a penalty whilst leading 1-0 and being pegged back just before half-time. Phillips with the corner high into the penalty area, ricochets off Hegazi and goes behind before Bartley can get there. Well, we had West Bromwich Albion losing in injury time at Middlesbrough a couple of weeks ago on TalkSport 2, when they had the better chances in the game, but they bounced back with a win against Stoke by 2-1 when Dwight Gale scored twice. And maybe, Mick, their intensity levels were higher against the side they met in the Premier League last season.
Yeah. Look, I think sometimes the teams that come down they don't get it for a while. And Birmingham, being all of them, they've deserved it. And maybe they have been different in different games, West Bromwich Albion. But I just think if this game opens up,
Here is Jutkiewicz chasing down the right, looking to use his winger's pace, but in the end it's gone behind.
You did say chugging along at one point, and that's what he does. But I tell you what, he chugs along for a long time. He's a real threat. But I could just see it. Gale's got him behind a couple of times here, and if they're not careful, Birmingham, this game could go away from them. So they've got to really keep themselves tight.
A line of policemen are heading towards the away end, away to our right-hand side, which tells you we're heading towards the closing moments of this game. 7 minutes left. Birmingham 1, West Brom 1 on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Dawson finding Livermore. It's flicked on by Barnes to find Robson-Kanu. And here is Phillips. Robson-Kanu again, laying it back towards the halfway line. And now Hegazi. And Birmingham are just having to do some chasing here. Townsend back towards Bartley, who has to come in field again, and it's flicked on by Livermore. Robson-Kanu with a second flick, and now it's laid into the penalty area for Gale with a shot off the crossbar. Phillips back in field, and the shot from Livermore is missed. Then it's another shot which is blocked by the legs of Camp, who knew nothing about it, and Birmingham escaped this time.
That was a great move by West Bromwich. I mean, they kept the ball, they worked it out wide left. They got a good crossing. They're back on it here now. They're attacking again.
Here is Dawson coming forward again. Birmingham were looking for a free kick for a challenge on Jutkiewicz. Phillips with the ball and fisted away by Camp at the near post. He had Robson-Kanu between himself and the ball, and it's a tired looking clearance from Maghoma. Birmingham are about to bring on Solomon Otterball. Now Dawson slides it down the channel, right hand side. Phillips does well to try and make the best of a poor pass, but it's a throw-in to Birmingham City, and on 2 or 3 occasions there West Brom will believe they should have scored, and the change is Jutkiewicz off and Solomon Otterball on.
Well, they got away with murder. I thought it was a great move down that left hand side, cut back. He's hit a shot against the crossbar. I think was it Robson-Kanu that's got in at the far post and then hit it back across, and it was a scramble, a block with the feet, block with the hands. They kept it away, and then it just shows you how quick the crowd can turn. They've enjoyed a really good performance here, and Lee Camp punched one out there. I think they should have caught it, and the roars of derision at him for not catching the ball.
5 minutes to play. Birmingham 1, West Brom 1. Birmingham would remain without a league victory this season. It would be 5 draws and 2 defeats, and West Brom would remain in the top half of the table. But here is Townsend coming forward now. Tries a shot left-footed from just outside the penalty area, and he had better options as it whizzed over the angle.
He does. He's a young lad. He's seen the goals and thinks he can be hero here and win the game, and he's got a better option than that. But Birmingham do look shattered. They've worked so hard. They probably deserve to have won this game, but I'd make sure I didn't lose this. I know they are. Is he being negative? No. If they come away with nothing from this, it'll be devastating for them, having played so well.
Well, we saw a similar thing happen to Reading on the opening day of the season against Derby County. They lost the game they should have won, and really they've not really recovered from that. Kieftenbeld forward towards Hotter, has support from Bogle. The back pass will head towards Johnston, and he now clears downfield again. Controlled by Phillips just inside the West Bromwich Albion half. There's more movement from West Brom coming forward at the moment, but on this occasion it's a pass too long for Robson-Kanu, and Camp will be able to clear downfield for Birmingham City. Long right-footed again. Solomon Otterball losing out to Hegazi in the air. But West Brom are winning more of the second balls, and now Barnes has the opportunity to drive forward wide towards the left-hand side, and Gale, he can come in field. Right-footed shot that was deflected, squirts across the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Pedersen. Bogle at the other end is strong enough to barge the challenge of Bartley, and it's won a throw-in, which is taken quickly to find Collan. Both sides really going for the winning goal here in the final moments. Hotter wide towards Collan again. Solomon Otterball and Bogle waiting in the centre for the cross, but Collan checks back and finds Gardner. And now Pedersen moving towards the left-hand side. Solomon Otterball, the width from Maghoma. Back towards Solomon Otterball again, who comes infield onto the right foot, square towards the edge of the penalty area, and Kieftenbeld back towards Gardner. And Birmingham being patient here, trying to work West Bromwich Albion around. Pedersen finding Solomon Otterball once again. Macoma takes up a central position. Poor ball forward from Solomon Otterball, cut out by Higazi. Phillips tries to twist and turn away from Dean, but it's good defending just to leave him off the ball and make sure Birmingham have the throw in.
Just be careful, Birmingham. They're leaving 2v2 here. There's Robson Carnew and Dwight Gale up against two centre backs. They've now got 3v2. Harley Dean's there, and they've brought Collan back.
Higazi backpedaling, has to check and clear the ball away, and it will be a throw-in for Birmingham, almost level with the edge of the West Brom penalty area, down their left-hand side. A few Birmingham fans beginning to drift away from St Andrews with the score 1-1. Pedersen will take it into Solomon Otterball, who is beyond Barnes. He stumbles slightly, then there's a shuddering challenge from Barry on Solomon Otterball, or maybe a bit of both, and the ball spins away down this near side, and it's a throw into West Brom, and Gareth Barry not too happy with the nature of that. In fact, the free kick has been given to West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he just left it. He left a foot in late there.
A minute of normal time to play. 1-1 it remains. Here is Dawson. And do West Brom have one final attack? Barry with a ball wide to the far side, and Townsend. Gale had made the early run, but Townsend checks in field, and it's poked forward by Barry towards the edge of the penalty area, and Gardner is fouled this time by Robson Carnew, and it will be a Birmingham free kick. And Birmingham, even though they've had to hold on at times in the closing stages, would regard this as 2 points dropped. They had such a big opportunity to put clear daylight between themselves and West Brom in the first half. The penalty was missed, and shortly afterwards West Bromwich Albion equalised. Bartley heads the ball away down this near side. Gardner heads in field, but he was pushing and fouling Barnes, and it will be a free kick for Albion, taken quickly. Now Dawson wide to this near side, the right, and Phillips, who's too quick for Maghoma now. He'll take on Pedersen, fires the ball in. There'll be 3 minutes of added time, and maybe Phillips should have tried his luck there by going beyond the fullback.
I think so. Shooting from there, I don't think he got much chance, and he just shot straight against the defender.
Throw-in taken by Phillips into Robson Carnew inside the penalty area, looking to twist and turn. He's played it square. Barry with the shot. Well, that would have been a story had Gareth Barry scored right-footed. He tried to shape it into the far post, and it was some way wide. Well,
I think they can thank their lucky stars it wasn't from the other side on his left foot, because I think he may well have found the net.
But it's a goal kick for Birmingham, and the West Bromwich Albion fans who travelled in such great numbers, trying to get behind their team for one final push. And they may have to settle for a point here.
Wouldn't Birmingham love Vassell to be fit? Just looking there at they're on the attack now.
Here is Gale streaking into the penalty area down the left-hand side, pulls it back low. It'll come all the way through towards Phillips. Phillips drives it in. It took a deflection. Barnes tries an overhead kick, and it's chested away by Collan, virtually on the goal line, and he will hook the ball clear. Dawson tries to win it back. He fouls Gardner, and it's a free kick to Birmingham. Now that pace of Gale, I don't think West Brom have used it enough.
I don't think I said in the commentary, I thought that Dwight Gale and Jay Rodriguez should have been running up the sides of people. They should, and if you're playing one in behind like Harvey Barnes, you want them to run up the sides, which creates a bit of space for him to play. Or he can run up the side and one of the centre forwards can come in here. But they didn't, and I think they've been pretty static up until this last 15 minutes, and Dwight Gale's got up the side of them 3 or 4 times, and they've created chances. And he can run, he's quick.
Gary Gardner is the player down receiving treatment to a head injury.
They've just got away with the chance there as well, through Gale running up the side and cutting it back. And it came back to Matt Phillips, who's struck a shot and it's got deflected. Then he's tried an overhead kick there as Barnes, and his Collan saved it on the line, so good defending.
And both teams will believe they've had chances to win this game. Camp with the free kick in the left back position, down the line, flicked inside by Bogle, but it's headed away by Barry, out of play, and it will be a throw-in for West Brom. Maybe just time to take it. And it's the Dane Pedersen who will. Bogle makes the run down the line, short towards McHomer. McHomer again. Phillips is stern in the challenge though, but McHomer is able to sweep a ball high towards the far side. It's controlled brilliantly by Kiftambell, who then looks to burst into the penalty area, plays it back low, and the ball eventually is cleared away by Bartley after the cross was blocked. But now Pedersen wins a header, and that's it. Honours even, and Birmingham yet again have played well and not won, and this one will really hurt. Leading by a goal to nil, Hodder scored their goal. He then missed a penalty 2 minutes later. Shortly after that, the equalising goal was scored by Matt Phillips, and it's finished. Birmingham City 1, West Bromwich Albion 1.